I've given us time now. I think next time I'm gonna hide the topics, and we're gonna do just like whatever comes to mind first. It's like when you go to what's it called when they show you the ink at the psychologist, the ink
Oh,
block.
Rorschach test? You
That
want that?
that's it.
Is this a picture of a bat, Mr. Wayne? Do you see a bat? Why do you see a bat? Okay.
Let like that. Exactly. Exactly. I couldn't remember who it was named after. Um, but we've had some time to think about it. For all of these, I'll go to you, and if you have an anecdote, something to say, or you can pass because there are a couple on here where I won't have any. So, all right, we're gonna start with the Nintendo. So it's either first memory, first thing that comes to mind. It doesn't have to be your first experience. It's just the first thing that you think about. Kevin,
VCR.
and this is the NES, Nintendo Entertainment System, people for audio only. Kevin, I'm gonna
Yeah,
go to you first. So when you think about the
I've got a
NES,
hundred.
so many,
I've got a
but
hundred NES memories. One thing that I always think of almost first thing whenever I think of the system is I'm always trying to figure out if I had the Atari 2600 first or if that came later. I can't really remember. I know I had both, and they were kind of both sort of in the same time span. But I think I had the Atari 2600 first. And then I got this. It was hooked up to our dining room TV, which I don't know why we had a dining room TV because we did not watch TV while we ate dinner. It was just there. And it was like the video game TV. It was like keep Kevin out of the living room. And I also remember my dad cleaning it all the time because it had those notorious issues with the connector pins. So my dad was always getting Q-tips and dipping them in alcohol and cleaning the insides for me. I think he took the top off to do it. Um, but yeah, that's kind of my like initial memories of the system specifically without bringing up any games.
uh, you talk games as well. You know, it's all connected. There's
A
not
million
it's
games.
not a big rule, but just within the system. Sean, how about you?
So the number one memory I have for NES was it was the first time in my life being okay with not being good at something.
Hmm.
So I didn't own an NES, but whenever I'd go somewhere and play like Super Mario Brothers and I had to be Luigi, I would like get to instantly die and then sit there for 15 or 20 minutes while the person that owned the game got further than me, and then I get to
I know
play
who you're
again
talking about, and it's not me.
and instantly die. So that was my first video gaming lesson as a kid is it's okay to not be good at it. You can still enjoy it. So,
Hmm.
Well, I love the NES hardware. I've shared my top memories of NES on this show before. There's just yeah, the same way, over 100. But just in general, something that you brought up, Kevin, that made me think about it is that uh, a lot of us had the Game Genie, which if you had the Game Genie, you would connect it to the actual game cartridge and the game, and instead of putting the game in the slot and pushing it down, you would just press it
Hmm.
in. And a lot of times that would make your games work, even if you didn't want to enable cheats, which you could just not enable any cheats when you used it. So
Yeah,
that's
you
what
could put
I
another cart on top of it too, was a trick I used a lot. Just another
right,
game.
right. And another, I mean, what I was taught from FuncoLand, GameStop, whatever, is that you would try to leave as much space as possible from the back of the hardware. So you would try to move the cart up before you press it
Hmm.
down as much as you can. So yeah, it made me think about that. But I mean, throughout the three
it's
years or so,
such a novel idea to me. that we had a separate attachment for cheat codes. It's just crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Game Genie. And then what was after that? I mean, there's Action Replay and um. Anyways, uh oh, Sean, I was gonna go to you next, but you're passing on this one, or do you want to share an
Oh
N64
no,
anecdote?
no, I have memories. So all my memories of N64 are playing it at Kevin's because I didn't have one. And then again, it was Mario Kart and Perfect Dark, Knives Only and GoldenEye, like all the multiplayer stuff.
Slappers only.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So that's why whenever we do the single player games as the spotlight, I don't really have a nostalgia for it. So it's not that I never played those, but I never like played through them and beat them. Like I played
Mhm.
the first level of Mario 64 a ton, but then we'd go play something else. So all my memories are just four people crammed around a small TV trying to decipher your little square. Like it's just good times. So I have all happy memories of N64, despite never having owned it.
Kevin, how about you?
I've told my story before, but I'm pretty sure the Nintendo 64 I owned was stolen. Because where we got it was the when it was brand new, when it was the hot holiday item that Christmas, like impossible to find in stores. There was a flea market that my dad and I used to go to every weekend, and some guy had a Nintendo 64 there, and he was selling it for retail price, which I always found suspicious because, like I said, this was when it was like the hot holiday item. I don't know why he wasn't selling it for like a scalper would do today for more. So the fact that he had, I think he had two of them, and that's how we found it was at this flea market where he was selling it at retail price. I always found that a little suspicious. Um, and then we got it home, and even my parents could understand what a big deal the Nintendo 64 was at the time because they were not video game people, but even they wanted to hook it up that day and see what it was like, even though it was a Christmas present. So I got to play it that first day, and then it went back in the box and had to wait till Christmas to play more.
I've
I
sh-
vaguely remember you saying that at school. Like I've got one. We were like, yeah, okay.
and what
You've
color did
got
you
one.
have,
Sure.
or do you have the original color?
I had just the traditional black one, and then I had the gray controllers, and then eventually between me and my friends who would bring their own controllers over to play, and like stuff gets left at houses and stuff, I had like all the colors of the controllers at some point. I had the clear purple one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a while back, I shared my story of me getting my N64. It was like the fire orange translucent one. I got it later on because my parents had won it big at the boat at the casino, and that was their gift to me. But so I'll just
Mhm.
share the first anecdote that came to my mind. I remember when Mario Party 3 came out, and my sister and I rented the game from Blockbuster, and then we went to McDonald's drive-through, and there was a boy from her high school that worked there, probably liked her, whatever. Asked if he wanted any extra food, and we asked for some chicken nuggets, and he gave us whatever the biggest one was at the time. Probably was it like 20 back in the day? I don't know. I think you can get 50 now, but maybe back in the day it was like 20 or something. But that's like the first thing. I'm trying to do this today randomly, like whatever's the first one that popped into my mind. But I can remember at the time, yeah, eating food, playing Mario Party in the basement, and that's not the most important memory, but it's one memory to bring us back. I'm gonna keep going last because I'm the host.
Okay.
Kevin, how about GameCube?
So GameCube was the first system I bought with my own money. And I saved up, I don't think I had a job yet. I think I saved up like lawn mowing money and like whatever lunch money I didn't spend at school and stuff like that. But Nintendo Power was hyping it up back when it was called the Nintendo Dolphin. So I had plenty of time to save. And I remember I calculated the sales tax wrong. And my friend Nick, who was with me at the time that I was buying it, pitched in like $5 or something like that I was short. And he used to joke that he owned the power button because he pitched in that $5.
Yep.
And that's my GameCube memory. First game I had Smash Brothers day one.
I think I was trying to think of what mine was as well. Yeah, Sean, how about you?
So this was the first console I bought myself too. Um, yeah, this was my college gaming system. Again, we were still about 4-player split screen, so just didn't buy as many games on this system as I had gotten on prior systems. So it was really just kind of the rotation of Melee, which is still my favorite Smash Brothers. I think it peaked there. And then when we did it on here, Soul Calibur 2, which is probably my top 20 favorite games of all time. But yeah, just a lot of, late nights playing GameCube. I think Resident Evil 4 was like one of the few actual single player games I played because I was like, oh, I'd never played these. So that was my first Resident Evil was on GameCube. But yeah, and as I've said on here, I've come around on the controller. So
I also had an Animal Crossing memory where I actually in college, me and all my roommates like each had a house in the Animal Crossing town, which is like the ideal scenario for that game.
Well, we're all aging ourselves here.
Yeah.
I was quite younger when it came out, uh, but I will say I did buy this console myself when I was a kid, but it was a little bit different because this was a $200 console, correct? And
Hmm.
even then I was like I could from saving holiday money and then letting out the neighbor's dog and doing whatever, $10, $20 here's there, trading in a few games I'm sure at the time. I remember having enough money to buy the system and having $0 after that, not even having enough money to buy a game, which was fine because
Hmm.
I'm a kid. Kids don't need money, and my dad taking me to Hollywood Video down the street to rent. I think it was Smash Brothers. Um, but yeah, and we talked about it on here when we did our like best and worst like first years of the console. One of my favorite just 12 months year of gaming just in general. Um, Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion, Smash Brothers Melee, just so many games that I remember from that like initial first year of the GameCube. Cool.
Love it.
Yeah, Sean, do you have Virtual Boy?
why is it good Switch controllers with it?
Oh, I used the I used just a shot from the. It's on exactly. It's the one that Kevin has now.
Okay, we'll let it go.
We'll let it go.
I mean, my Virtual Boy memory is looking back, I feel like I had it just so I had the new thing. Like,
Mhm.
I don't think there was any hype or any like, oh my god, it was just, oh, this is a new Nintendo thing. I'm gonna get that. So, and it's the same thing. I think my dad got it at the flea market, so I don't know, maybe that also fell off a truck.
Yeah, he probably could have got it for $20 if you waited a year.
Yeah, flea markets were big back then. Same but different. And I don't have any for this one, so Kevin, you're gonna finish off this one.
My memories of the Virtual Boy are we've already talked about that sleepover I had that one year that the Virtual Boy was relevant. So I'll give another one where it was sitting on the floor of my grandparents' house. They had this like coffee table thing where I could put the Virtual Boy on it and sit on the floor with my legs underneath it, and it was like the ideal setup for that system. A very antisocial system though, because your friends can't see what you're playing, so it's hard to play it at a sleepover or something like that.
I had nothing to add to this. I thought I did, but then I didn't. We are moving
Check out,
on.
oh, we should plug things. Check out my Virtual Boy video for my other Virtual Boy memories.
Oh yeah,
There
of
you
course.
go.
There you go. Um, Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Advance SP. I actually have
Hmm.
to.
I had both.
I had the Game Boy Advance, and actually I had this orange one. I don't know if the orange one on here was one that was even that popular. Well, looking at it, you know what? Screw it. I'm already talking. So, looking at
Do it.
this picture, yeah, the SP certainly fixed a lot. I mean, I like the design more of the SP. The Advance was fine because I thought it was pretty comfortable. But yeah, the backlight issue, not being able to um, see the games on here. Of course, I remember playing Leaf Green on here a lot, but I also remember just playing a lot of like just Game Boy Color games at the time when when I had it as well. I thought it was always unique that you could resize any Game Boy or Game Boy Color game just by pressing the side buttons, and I think
Hmm.
we should have that option for some of the Virtual Console games. Uh, so that's it. More general, I guess, but Kevin, Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, Game Boy Advance, I had both versions, and I had the purple one when it came to the original design. I always think of that story that I remember hearing when the SP came out about how the entire reason they were able to get a backlight on it is Nintendo insisted at the beginning it was not cost effective to put a backlight into the system. And then college students started charging people to mod their Game Boy Advance for them. And Nintendo obviously never likes when people do that. And so that's probably what led to the SP being made. But games that stand out to me, I was huge into Advance Wars on the system. I took that on vacation with me. Golden Sun as well. The NES remakes they put out on it. I talked about how that was the first time I beat Zelda, and Adventure of Link was on the Game Boy Advance. And Final Fantasy, you could play Final Fantasy 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 all got releases. And that is when I started to get upset that Final Fantasy 3 at the time was still not available in North America. Like, why didn't they put Final Fantasy 3 on the Game Boy Advance? Eventually, we got it later down the line. They did a DS version, and it wasn't until the Pixel remaster that we got to experience like a sort of NES style version of that game. Anyway, those are my memories.
Cool, cool. Sean?
So this was the first handheld console I had. I had the SP with the NES skin, which I
Nice.
probably should have kept. I don't know where it went, but yeah, this system was the first time I beat a lot of those games. So Mario Advance, which we've talked about, I think all of them now. But Game Boy Advance was my first time beating Mario 3 and 2, and I think the port A Link to the Past, I think I beat it first on SP. So yeah, it was kind of like my retro gaming device, more or less.
Yeah.
Right. It was like that first step into stepping backwards,
Yeah.
almost.
That was the first time Nintendo was like, this system is like a portable Super Nintendo. And then, like, they went, kept going back, like you're saying. Yeah.
Right, right. Or like the first time, and well, we're doing 3DS next, but like the first time that you were able to play like a 64-bit N64 style game on a portable device. At least to me, that seemed like a
Mm.
like a pretty cool thing. So, Sean, did you have a 3DS?
I did. I had a 3DS. I didn't play a lot on it, but again, it almost had the Wii U problem of not having a lot of games, I guess. But so the 3DS was the first time I actually beat Ocarina. So that's
Mm.
like the version I would be nostalgic for, as opposed to the N64 one. So beating it for me was, oh, you've always been able to just turn the boots on and off with the screen. So that was where I came at that one from. And then I remember really liking 3D Land, and I'm kind of bummed
Yeah,
that that's the only way to play it. But yeah,
for
I
now.
again, I didn't. I think I played Star Fox on there. Kid Icarus totally flew by my radar because I would have played it now that I've seen it. But yeah, I didn't spend as much time with it. But I felt like the games I did play on it were pretty quality.
Kevin, how about you?
I got 4 words: Animal Crossing at work. That's my biggest 3DS memory, is taking it to work with me with New Leaf, and having a grand old time.
All right, I was thrilled Animal Crossing went back to handheld, and when it was announced, I had to get one. I had to get a 3DS, and that was pretty much. I mean, I missed a lot of games on 3DS. I wasn't playing that many games. I was going to grad school and checking in on Animal Crossing daily. That was um that was the gist most of the time. I've told a story on here about I bought it used, and it was the first time. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from St. Louis, and it was the first time I'd ever seen Mexican license plates in my city before. And and the man who sold to me, very nice, but he had two 3DSs, and the one that I bought, he included a game. He had two games. One was Mario Kart, and then the other one was like some Hello Kitty game or something like that. And he gave me the Hello Kitty game, and I was like, "Can I have that one?" And he's like, "No, I have to put it with this one." I'm like, "Oh man!" So I took the Hello Kitty game over down the street to GameStop, and just traded in, got Animal Crossing. There we go. All right, I made the last one easy on myself. Uh, Kevin, how about you tell us an anecdote about the Wii U?
Definitely remember playing Lego City Undercover a lot. That was like the big, like, exclusive for the system. And this was another one I got the day it came out. I worked at Target at the time, so I bought it literally when my shift ended. Like, I worked the morning shift, I think, and then went and picked up my pre-order in the department of the store I worked for. And I took it home. And this was also the system where I started getting into Metroid for the first time. It, for some reason, took until the Wii U, but whenever they put that on the virtual console, Super Metroid, I bought it and started understanding Metroid for the first time. This was really a system that we've talked about on here a few times. It's a shame that they didn't get more games for it, because this was when I started getting back into video games and like really followed the hype cycle. I think it was just that the Nintendo Wii just really wasn't for me, even though there's a few games on there that I do love, like obviously like Twilight Princess, but that's a GameCube game. So like there are Wii games that I like, but for the most part, I just wasn't really feeling the Wii. Even though I did have one and play it. This was where I was like, oh yeah, we're back. This is reminding me of the hype I had for the GameCube, and then it just didn't go anywhere. So Yeah, those are my memories with the Wii U were more of the anticipation of the system and the excitement when it first came out, and then just waiting for things to play that never came. Like I followed the development of Breath of the Wild when it was called Zelda Wii U for the longest time.
You were like, this is gonna be it. This is what I'm gonna be
Mhm.
about. Did when you were working at Target, did you see anyone else that day go in and buy a Wii U?
Yeah, there were. I mean, I do remember thinking that like I was surprised there weren't more, but like during my shift, I gave out a few, knowing I had my pre-order, so mine was safe. And I like any other Nintendo thing, when we first opened, there were, but like it wasn't huge. It was like 5 people came in, and as the week went on, there was that initial burst, and then it just evaporated.
And Sean, you had a Wii U?
So the Wii U was probably the saddest console experience I ever had because you were always looking for games for it. Like I that was the last time I was hyped about a Nintendo console, and I bought into the whole thing, and then nothing was coming out. Like, because I'm more, people are like, really, you played Arkham Origins on Wii U? I'm like, yep, that's how I played that. So like anything that had a Wii U version, that's how I was playing it. And yeah, my I enjoyed my time with the Wii U because that's how I experienced Wind Waker. So that's Wind Waker to me is that version. But it left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth, so I didn't pre-order a Switch. I didn't jump right in on that. So I kind of was just like, yeah, we're good. And then I kind of initially had the same experience with Switch 2 where I was like, I could have waited on this, huh? I mean, now I've got stuff, but the
Mhm.
initial I was just like, oh no, this is Wii U all over again.
It'll be there.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, listeners, leave your anecdotes, thoughts, comments down below.